And you guys know I love you more than chocolate chip cookies, and it's so great to see you each week. And I'm going to give you guys time to kind of come in here and get settled, and we're going to have a really great day. And by the time you walk out of here, you will be a whole lot smarter than you were when you arrived. I guarantee you that much. So let me know. Let me see. I'm looking at the participants who's here. I see Andrew and Charles Hawkins and Deja and Dr. Green. Is that Maurice Green? Is that you, Maurice Green? If that's you, Dr. Green, how you doing, brother? Dr. Maurice Green is actually the head of the largest organization in the country, the Black Doctoral Network, which is the largest organization in the country for Black PhDs and doctoral students. And Dr. Green is one of my respected and esteemed colleagues, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. And so if that's you, Dr. Green, I want to say hello. It's good to see you, man. Iman and Guerda and James Keller and Jerome and Joe Manley and Letitia and Renee and Ryan and Tina. Good to see everybody. Good to see all of you here. All right, so here's where Charles says we lead us to where the money resides. Yes, that is the goal. That is what we do in class every Tuesday. And in case you just joined the Black Stock Market Program, we meet every Tuesday, and that's where I answer every single question that you have. I also answer the questions that you leave in advance. The ones you leave in advance, I answer those questions first. Also, as part of the program, for those of you that just joined, don't forget you have access to literally 5 years worth of lectures I've done just like this. And you guys know me. I don't do anything half speed. Everything I do when I'm talking to you about finance and investing, I'm literally dropping every ounce of my PhD on the table in hopes that you can build a family legacy that will last 100, 200 years. I'm encouraging you to reach deep in yourself and to see yourself as the empire builder that you are. I love talking to kings and queens. I don't. We don't have much time to do this. Our time is now. We're gonna be dead one day. And I want you to imagine that you're living in 1921 and you're hanging out with Marcus Garvey and you're part of that movement, and this is your time. It's not going to be 1921 forever. Eventually the 1930s are going to come, and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, and your time will be over. So you got to maximize the time that you have to make the impact that you're supposed to make, and that comes down to planting seeds. So if you want to know why every day I wake up and I sound like a crazy person every day when I come on here with you guys, it's because I know that our time is short, and I want to make sure we have maximum impact during the time that we're here. And that means you going into your family and leaving a legacy that's going to last 200, 300 years after you're gone. That's what we do. That's what we believe in. That's how we operate. All right. So, by the way, some of you might be listening online. I actually do the first part of class online, but the rest, when I answer all the questions, do the whole Q&A, and to see the recordings and all that, you can log in at the blackstockmarketprogram.com. That's the blackstockmarketprogram.com. I do the first part online so that those outside who are not sure what it's going to be like, what class is like, they can kind of listen in and decide if they want to join. And then if you like what you hear, I hope you'll be a part of this. The Black Business School is the best Black wealth educational, best Black wealth educational institute in the world. Actually, not just in the nation. We've helped over 1 million Black people buy their first share of stock. We have 140,000 students, and we're doing a lot of great things. Like, so, for example, this week I'm going to actually do a book club, and I want you guys to know about that. The book club is going to cover wealth-related books that I think Black people should know about. More things that tie into the socioeconomic aspect of things. So these are not books that will talk to you about 401ks and which stock to buy, but really books like we're going to start with Dr. Claude Anderson's books, which are probably going to take us months to get through anyway. And what I'm going to do on Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is I'm going to go through Dr. Anderson's book, starting with Black Labor, White Wealth, and I'm going to break it down and analyze it so that by the time we're done, you and your family will have a full understanding of all the Powernomics philosophies and everything else heard straight from the Boyce's mouth, so to speak. And then by joining you can have access to the recordings and all that. And it's totally free. So if you want to sign up for that and be a part of that, just log in and sign up at blackkeystogreatness.com. Blackkeystogreatness.com. If somebody could type that in the chat so others can see it, I'd appreciate it. It's blackkeystogreatness.com. We start Wednesday at 8:30, and we ain't gonna stop till it's done, which is going to take a while. All right, so here's what is on my mind today. The first thought I want to share with you that I want to break down for you is I just put together this model for building children that are not going to be economic slaves. One of the things that I hate that drives me insane is that we have a whole community filled with job seekers. We many of us were raised as kids to only know about seeking jobs. You know, get a job, get a job, get a job, and then when we become adults, we start comparing ourselves to each other and saying, well, my job is better than your job. I make more money at my job than you make at your job. Now, there's nothing wrong with jobs. You know, there's no job shaming here or anything like that. But some of y'all weren't made for a job. Some of y'all weren't built to go and work for a white guy your whole entire life. Some of you have children that will never be able to keep a job because they're going to get fired on their day off because maybe they like to speak up, or they're a little too black, or she wants to wear her natural hair, or whatever, right? And so what I believe is that we have to systematically, in a structured kind of way, make sure that our children are trained at this stage in life to do something other than just seeking a job. They have to be able to go beyond that. So what I put together was a model for building what I call sturdy children. Sturdy, and the acronym is sturdy, except sturdy is spelled with an E instead of a U. Sturdy children. And this is and I want you to write this down. Everybody type the word sturdy in the chat, but spell it STERDY as opposed to STURDY. So I want you to take this home. This is a model that if you follow this model, your child has a very high probability of becoming a millionaire. Now, a lot of you, maybe if your children are in the Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program, you know about the KID model, knowledge, investment, discipline, that we talk about in terms of preparing your child to become a millionaire. Well, the sturdy model is literally something I just put together today. Sometimes God just gives me an idea and I'll see it and I'll say, that actually makes sense. And this is easy to explain. It's something you can put on your refrigerator. And I want you to explain. I want to help you understand what sturdy means. So first of all, the S in sturdy stands for systems. Your children have to be raised to understand that a system will always make more money than a person's labor. Most millionaires that make money, they don't make money through working harder than everybody else. A billionaire can't work hard enough to make $1 billion, but a billionaire has a system. Right? Systems are maybe processes, maybe an organizational structure, maybe it's some sort of automation that allows them to make money while they sleep. Most people I know that make millions of dollars, they make money when they're not at work. They can be on the beach and literally make more money in one day on the beach than a hardworking person can make at their job for a whole year. I've seen these sorts of things. So this starts early. I believe that if you train children early to see money making in terms of systems as opposed to labor, then they're going to get out of this very unhealthy trade-off between between time and money. That time money trade-off is a losing trade-off for you because you've only got so much time. Time is of limited supply. Time has a really high value because commodities that have a restricted supply are very, very precious, very valuable. But what happens is you end up selling yourself cheap. And the more time you're giving to the job, the more of an imbalanced trade-off you're making. That's what they call a trade deficit, or what Dr. Claude Anderson refers to as the doctrine of unequal exchange, where you're giving something that's really valuable. You're giving away time that could be spent with your kids, time that could be spent with your family, time that could be spent living your best life, and you're giving that to the corporation in exchange for a wage that isn't very high, right? So you want to get your kids out of that time for money trade-off. For example, that lady Super Scent, who sells makeup, she has a system and she makes $1 million in an hour, right? So teach your kids systems early, and then they'll have a good shot at being a millionaire. The T stands for technology. Technology means that the billionaires and eventually trillionaires that exist in this society are people that have mastered technology. The reason Mark Zuckerberg can make more money in an hour than most people make in a lifetime is because Mark Zuckerberg mastered technology at an early age. When he was a kid, he was programming computers and setting up algorithms and things like that allowed him his wealth to grow when he's sleeping. Jeff Bezos is worth almost $200 billion because he's a master of technology, right? So your children, and many of you have children that are already technologically inclined. I know that they exist because I'm actually going to give, Alicia and I are giving a $20,000 donation to the Black Achievers Group in Louisville, Kentucky. They gave me my first college scholarship. They believed in me when nobody else did. So we went back and we said, we want to pay it forward. I'm going to give them 20 grand. But one of the things I talked to them about is I said, I would love to help you talk about all your kids that you have in your program that want to be in engineers because they're good at technology. They're good at computers. Tell me if you have a child who's in that category. A lot of the kids grow up, and what happens is that when you have the quote unquote good kids, which all of us, a lot of you have good kids, and I'm not knocking that at all. I'm not saying this. I was trying to be a good kid. I wasn't very good at it, but the good kids, when they because they want to impress the adults, and you say, well, what are you going to do when you go to college? They'll say either doctor, lawyer, or engineer, typically, right? Those are the three professions that tend to get shouted out the most, and those are all fine professions. But well, here's the thing: when you got those engineers and those scientists that are good with technology, you might be missing an opportunity. We've got a little engineer in our house. He's going to go to the University of Louisville next year. He loves technology. He loves computers. He went to the best math and science academy in the country, actually. It's in Illinois, the Illinois IMSA, Illinois Math and Science Academy. Yeah, there we go. And anyway, so he's good with technology. But what I told him is, I said, Elon Musk is also good with technology, and Elon Musk makes an insane amount of money. And so you could become an engineer, which is great. You're going to make maybe 100,000, 200,000, maybe 300,000 a year. But the people that take technology and apply it to some sort of entrepreneurial model or system are the people that get a chance to make $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month. Maybe you're not going to be a billionaire like Elon Musk, but you'll make an amount of money that will far exceed the amount that people can make on the job, right? So the technology is critical. That's why most wealth that exists in the society has gone to the tech giants, because they understand technology. In fact, you don't live in a democracy anymore. You live in a technocracy. The tech giants, Facebook, Amazon, what do they call it? FAM, FAAM, Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, Apple, and Microsoft. That's it. Those are the companies right now that are under tremendous antitrust scrutiny, because they have so much wealth and so much power, because they understand the technology. They took over the whole music industry. They literally made deals with record labels where they didn't understand what they were giving away, and they pretty much sucked all the money out of the music industry because they understood technology. So teach your kids technology and teach them to apply it in a way that's going to make sense. The E stands for entrepreneurship. You gotta inspire that entrepreneurial spirit in your child. You've got to have a child that doesn't feel like all hope is lost because they don't have a job. The days of being depressed because you don't have a job need to be over, because what an entrepreneur understands is that when you get fired from your job, that can be the best day of your life, because your boss didn't take something away from you. They actually gave you a gift. They didn't take anything away from you. They gave you a gift. When they fired you, the gift they gave you was your time, right? They gave you your time back. And that's important. It's like if you're in a bad relationship, you think that because that person left you, that you're gonna, all is lost. You're gonna be sad forever. You'll never find anybody like them. And they took something from you. When really, if you're smart, you'll say, wait a minute, now I'm single. Oh, I'm single, ready to mingle. There's a lot of fish in the sea. I can go do all the things I couldn't do when I was in this relationship. But if you're so caught up in what you lost that you can't see what you gained, then I kind of feel sorry for you, right? That's almost like a self-esteem problem. Maybe it's a lack of vision, right, for your life. And so I think relating it to relationships is a good way to understand that when your boss lets you go, they're actually freeing you up to do a lot of stuff. And an entrepreneur can see that. They're like, oh, wow, look at this. I've got an extra 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week to put into whatever it is that I want to work on, right? So inspire that in your kids early. Talk to them about that on a regular basis. With my kids, I don't even talk about getting jobs. We don't even talk about jobs. We don't talk about career. We don't talk about any of that. I say, look, I want you to be happy, and I want you to know how to make enough money so you can do what you want to do, so you can pay your bills, and then get that out of the way so you can go do whatever it is you want to do, travel, live, whatever, right? The next piece to the sturdy model. So we talk about systems, technology, and entrepreneurship. The R stands for relationships, relationship management. Now, by the way, I'm going to actually dig deeper into this. The book I'm working on now is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. And I'm going to break down the sturdy model in extreme detail in the book. But I wanted to share this because I was actually excited about what I put together, because I think this is something that if you apply it, I know it's going to work. I know it's going to breed. Some of your kids are going to become multimillionaires because we had this conversation today. I swear, I put it on everything I love. I love my grandma. I put it on my grandma's casket, that that some of you will have kids that will become millionaires because you're going to take this sturdy model and you're going to introduce it to your children. This is how confident I am in what I'm laying out for you right now. This is literally something that I know will change your life. And I know you won't see it anywhere else because because I just literally put this together today. So relationships. The reason I put the R in there for relationships is because, and I've mentioned this, if you follow me, you kind of know a little bit of where this is going. But basically, relationships I find are critical to maintaining the economic unity necessary to build, large organizations and corporations. Even running a street gang, even if you're the captain of the South Side Bloods or something, you have to have relationship management because you have to be able to manage all these different personalities to make sure that everybody is in the same system and that you're working together in a coordinated way to achieve a common goal, right? Same thing. If you go work for Apple, and Apple is this $2 trillion company that's making insane amounts of money, well, don't you think the CEO of Apple is going to have to be really good at relationship management? He's going to have to be really good at reading people, understanding how to make friends and influence people, right? I think there's a book with that title. He's going to have to be really good at resolving conflicts. If he can't do those things, then he can't be the CEO. If you can't maintain relationships, you can't build anything because your what you're building is going to fall apart, including things like your marriage, your friendships, your partnerships. All those things are going to fall apart because you don't have the ability to heal the conflict. You don't have the ability to connect in the right way with the right people, right? So smart people, billionaires and millionaires, understand something that's very important, that becoming a millionaire or billionaire is not about how much work you do. It's how much work you can get other people to do in a way that everybody wins, where everybody benefits, right? So relationship management, I would actually study that like a science. I would have maybe George Fraser wrote a great book called Success Runs in Our Race, which is all about networking and maintaining relationships. I think that's a valuable resource. And George Fraser, by the way, he's one of my adopted fathers. I don't even know if he knows that I adopted him, but I did. I adopted him. I adopted Dr. Claude Anderson, and I adopted Kenny Gamble. No, Kenny Gamble out of Philadelphia. Those are my three adopted dads, in case you want to know that, because all three of those men have built independent empires that didn't require massive assistance from white people. These guys were able to just create relationships that allowed their entities to grow. Okay, what's the D? The D stands for delegation. See, sorry, I'm trying to remember everything because I literally just pulled this together today. So the D stands for delegation. The delegation is basically a matter of the ability to understand that you ain't got to do it all by yourself, right? A lot of us go into entrepreneurship thinking, I'm going to work my butt off and I'm going to make all this money because I'm going to be the hardest working person out here. I'm going to be the hardest working slave on the plantation, right? And then you work yourself into an early grave because you're a solopreneur. I'm not making fun of that. I understand that I was in the category too. So I'm not making fun of it, but I'm just calling it for what it is. You guys know how I am. Sometimes it comes out harsh, but I'm saying it because I love you. But that idea of doing it all by yourself and the inability to delegate typically connects to the other parts of the sturdy model, where maybe because you have a hard time maintaining relationships, you don't trust anybody that you can delegate to, right? Or maybe because you don't understand systems, you think that the whole system is supposed to be you being the CEO, you are the marketing director, you are the copywriter, you are the technology expert, who's building the website, you are the assistant, you are the secretary, you are the person in the mailroom who's mailing the packages. You can't do it all by yourself. You can't build a multi-billion-dollar company by yourself, and you probably can't even build a multi-million-dollar company by yourself. So with your children, if you teach them, again, that sturdy model. So the why doesn't mean anything. It's just like an extra little emphasis, right? So really the meat of this model is the STERD. That is systems. Teach your kids systems, technology, entrepreneurship, relationship management, and delegation. If you teach your children these things and they become really good at these things, and then you back it up with things like the $5 a day investing plan, so you give them a little capital to play around with, I'd be stunned if your child is definitely going to be economically strong. They're going to be economically free. They won't be sitting around chasing jobs and sitting on LinkedIn hoping that somebody will take their resume. I'm not making fun of anybody who's in that category. Please don't think I'm making fun of you. But I get that. I've been the black professional, and that was the thing back when I was growing up. The big thing was to be a black professional. We talk about all these black professionals and all that. Well, unfortunately, black professionals become high-paid sharecroppers in some situations because they're sitting up buried under a ton, like just like sharecroppers. The way sharecropping worked was that the person who owned the land would put you in so much debt that you have to work the land for the rest of your life to even give the impression that you're trying to pay the debt off, but you never actually pay it off. So it's like perpetual slavery. You're in this economic hell. So student loans does that to us now, right? They put you in so much debt that you can never repay it. Half of all black college graduates never repay their student loans. They can't repay. They default on the student loans, and so you go to work for the corporation. So you're farming the land. You don't own the business, but you're working for the business. But you get the distinction of calling yourself a black professional when really you're going to work yourself into an early grave, right? So ultimately, and then have not much to leave for the children, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to get your children out of that rat race early. And when I talk to my kids, I talk to them about that sturdy model of systems, technology, entrepreneurship, relationship management, and delegation. If you have good relationships, you understand systems, you can manage technology, you have an entrepreneurial spirit, and you know how to delegate, then you can make more money not working than most people can make working until they die. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to go in and answer some of your questions now. For those of you online, I'm gonna shut off the live feed now, but you can actually join the class at the blackstockmarketprogram.com. I'll answer every single question you guys have. I'm also going to answer the questions you guys submitted in advance first, and then I'm also going to talk to you about a couple of stock picks that I really like for this week. So feel free to join the class if you're listening online. All right, guys. All right, so